Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not really sure where to start. I don't have any opening remarks, and Matt's not here. Who wants to kick us? Who wants to kick? Who? No, go, Jen. Go ahead. Do the honors.
Can you give us any updates on the opening of the Rafah crossing? Where do negotiations stand to try to get civilians to be able to access that gate? What is the expectation you're giving to the Egyptians and the Israelis in terms of who will be able to leave?
So it continues to be a matter that we're working on. Ambassador Satterfield is on the ground in Israel, continuing close consultations with both the Israeli government and the Egyptian government, as well as the United Nations. There have been convoys moving through. As you know, we've unlocked that piece. There haven't been, to our estimation, there hasn't been a sufficient amount of aid getting through, but we're working on mechanisms to speed up the screening of that aid so more of it can move through the gate and make it to the innocent civilians in Gaza who need it. And we continue to work to unlock the very difficult kind of practical problem of getting American citizens out. I think it might be useful for me to talk a little bit about what the issues actually are in that. So if you've ever been to Rafah crossing, or if you know what it looks like, there is an Egyptian side that is controlled by Egyptian immigration authorities, and then there is a Gaza side that has been controlled by immigration authorities from Hamas. And in the middle, there is a no man's land. And so the Egyptian authorities are ready to process American citizens and other foreign nationals if they make it through the Gaza side of the border, through the no man's land to them. But the problem has been up until now, and it's the problem that we've been trying to unlock, is that at times on the Gaza side of the border, there has been no one there from Hamas to open the gates and process people and let them through. And at other times, there have been actually armed Hamas militants standing there, not even letting people approach the gate. And so we are continuing to work through with the United Nations, with the government of Egypt, the government of Israel, how to get this situation unlocked. We have been making progress. I can't get into the details of that progress because they're very sensitive negotiations, but it's something that we are focused on and hope to have American citizens and other foreign nationals able to move through in the coming days.
What are you telling American citizens right now who are in Gaza who have asked for assistance getting out?
So we have sent a number of messages to American citizens. As you know, there are a number who have registered with the Department of State to receive updates. We sent a message to them yesterday, just telling them that we were continuing to work to continue to work on a solution, and that we would provide them information as soon as we had an update. As you know, there have been times when we thought that the gates were going to open, and we sent messages to American citizens telling them that it was possible it was going to open, and so if they could make it safely there, they should consider doing so. And each of those times, we unfortunately the gate didn't actually open for the reasons I just articulated. So we are going to stay in touch with them and let them know we're working on it, and as soon as we have an update about them actually being able to make it through the crossing into Egypt, we will send them that update.
And last question, are there any U.S. officials at the Egyptian side of the Rafah crossing?
There are American officials, consular officials, I don't want to give their exact location because it is somewhat of a volatile situation, who are on the ground in Egypt, who, without getting into too much detail from this podium, will be able to facilitate the onward journeys of American citizens when we are able to get them through the Rafah crossing. Shannon.
Thank you. Just from my understanding, the Rafah crossing, when aid convoys move in, is Hamas's presence not required there to open the gate to those trucks that are allowed to pass into Gaza?
So there are gates for trucks to go in and out, and then there are gates for people to walk through. It's a different thing. The Egyptians are opening their side of the gate. I don't know actually if who's opening the other side of the vehicle gate that these trucks are going through. I would assume it's Hamas, but I don't know that for a fact. But it's a different transit point for people to walk through, and there's no one there to open those gates and do the immigration processing that needs to happen for people to walk through and make it to the Egyptian side.
And has the State Department explored using this other point of entry, possibly in these emergency situations, to move trucks out of the area and also perhaps American citizens?
I will say that we have explored every opportunity, including some that we haven't discussed here, continue to explore every opportunity. We don't talk about them publicly because it's often not useful given the security situation on the ground, but we are pursuing every possible alternative available to get the American citizens out. and we'll continue to do that.
Lastly, those American citizens, you still don't have any estimate you can give on how many Americans in Gaza the State Department is in contact with?
I don't. It's in the several hundreds, but there's a number that we are in contact with. And as always in these situations, we don't know exactly how many of them will choose to leave. We provide information to all of them that have registered with our system. Like I said, it's several hundred. And on any given day, people will make their individual choices based on their situation, their family situation, whether they want to leave or not.
Yeah, also on the border crossing, well, specifically on the issue of getting fuel into Gaza. Where do we stand with trying to get an agreement on allowing fuel to go in?
So we do think that it's important that fuel be able to make it into Gaza for humanitarian purposes. Obviously, the aid workers who are delivering humanitarian assistance through Rafah and then onward inside Gaza need to be able need fuel to be able to advance those deliveries. Fuel is important for the provision of medical care. Fuel is important for desalinization. Israel has very real concerns about the diversion of fuel. Hamas continues to launch rockets. And so Israel has real concerns. And so we are trying to work through a mechanism to ensure that we can get fuel in a way that would not be diverted, so it could be used only for humanitarian purposes. It's one of the things that Ambassador Satterfield, who has a lot on his plate, is very much focused on. I don't have an update to give today, but it's something that we are trying very hard to effectuate.
What kind of mechanism could there be that would at some point fuel is something that could be diverted once it's in there, right? Is there a third party who could somehow make sure that goes to hospitals or the places that you're saying it's needed?
As with all of these details, because they're the subject of some very delicate ongoing discussions, I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to talk about the details from here.
Okay, and just on the issue of, as you said, shipments have been going in, but it seems to be sort of happening very slowly. What is the, what is the hold-up for? I think it's only less than 70 trucks that have been in the last 4 or 5 days.
There are some practical considerations that we're trying to work through. Chief among them, but not only. Chief among them is we need to speed up the inspection regime, and we're working to do that.